Everybody, happy Wednesday. Today we are going to be doing our part 2, day 2 of our comparing and contrasting between two historical women, or two women that are important in some way to history, to sport, to the world, to a country, what have you. So today we are going to be talking about two women who, of course, every day when we talk about people like this, we're talking about two people that have some things that are in common and they have some things that are different about each other. So that's what we are going to be talking about today. So let's go ahead and share that screen with you. All right. So today we are going to be talking about two women. One is named Serena Williams and one is Jackie Joyner-Kersee. Now, some of you probably have heard of Serena Williams. So we're going to compare and contrast her and Jackie Joyner-Kersee. So we'll start first with Serena Williams. So you can already tell by her picture that she is some type of athlete. You can probably already know what kind of athlete she is. So Serena Williams was born on March 26, 1981. In Michigan. So she'll be 40 years old this year. So she's still young. She began playing tennis at the age of 4. So think back when you were about 4 years old. So she started playing tennis way back then. So all through her childhood, she played tennis and eventually made a professional debut in 1995 at the age of 14. So she became a professional tennis player when she was 14. She and her sister Venus competed in a variety of tournaments for several years. Serena won the Wimbledon Championship in 2002, which is the oldest title in tennis. So think about it like this, if you're not very familiar with how professional tennis works. You know, in baseball, you have the World Series, you have the Super Bowl for football, for professional football. You have the Stanley Cup for professional hockey. For professional tennis, winning the Wimbledon Championship is a big deal. It is one of the top honors because it is such a traditional tournament. So Serena has also won other tournaments and other events, and so she's got 4 Olympic gold medals. So she's been in the Olympics. She's played in the Olympics and represented the United States, and she's won 4 different gold medals. And then she has 23 Grand Slams. Now, when I think of Grand Slam, I think of baseball because I'm a baseball fan. I don't know that much about tennis, but when I did my research, I found out that a Grand Slam means that she had to win all 4. Now think about this, 4 major championships, one in Australia, there's one in France, one in Britain, which is Wimbledon, and one in the United States. She had to win all 4 of those in a year to get the Grand Slam. Guess what? She's done that 23 times. So she clearly is a very, very good tennis player. So because of her many wins, Serena is often thought to be one of the greatest female athletes of all time. And I think I would agree with that. She certainly has made her mark in the tennis world, I think, and in the athletic world. She definitely is definitely a winner, and she has proven it year and year and year after year. And she still is playing today. And like I said, she'll be 40 this year, and she's still playing tennis now. So now we're going to talk about Jackie Joyner-Kersee. Now, Jackie Joyner-Kersee was born March 3rd, 1962 in Illinois. So she's a good bit older. She grew up in a very poor household. So when she was growing up, she was very poor. She didn't have a lot of money. And so when she got to high school, she started playing sports. And she did track and played track, but she ran track and field, which is, of course, running These are things like the hurdles where they run and jump over those bars. There's lots of different things in track and field that people can do. She also played basketball and volleyball in high school, but track and field was really her specialty. That was where she did really, really good. So even though she played these different sports, the track and field, the running, the hurdles, the long jump, which is basically you run and see how far you can jump. It's a really cool sport to see happen. It's kind of strange to describe it, but to see it is pretty cool. So she did so well in high school with her sports and with her grades that she got to go to college. She went to UCLA, which is University of California in Los Angeles. And when she was 19 years old, she began to train for the Olympics. So first of all, I do want to say this. A lot of Olympic athletes they start training much younger for the Olympics when they're much younger than 19 for the Olympics. So she was already a little bit older than most people that train for the Olympics when she started training. Even though she was only 19, she still is a good bit older than most people are when they start training to try to be in the Olympics. So in 1984, she got to be in the Olympics. She qualified to represent the United States in the Olympics. She won the silver medal in the heptathlon. That's a very hard word to say. Basically, that is a 7-event competition. And it's a 7-event track and field competition. There's different races to run. There's races with hurdles, races for just speed, races for time. And I'll tell you in just a second exactly what sports or what competitions are in it. So some of the things that are in a heptathlon are the high jump, which is where they have to run and jump over a bar. They do shot put, which is where you have a very heavy ball and you have to be able to throw it so far. The long jump, like I mentioned, that's the one where you run and try to jump as far as you can. Hurdles, where you jump over these bars as you run. There are a lot of different events in a heptathlon. So you really have to be a good athlete all around to do well in that. So she, in her first Olympics, won the silver medal. So that meant she was the second best woman in the world in her first Olympics at that sport. But in 1992, she ended up with 2 gold medals from it. So she went from in one Olympics to being second place to going on and being first place winning consecutive Olympic gold medals, which means she won one right after the other. And again, she was the first woman to win 2 consecutive gold medals in the heptathlon. She officially retired from track and field in 2001, and she went on to create and work with charities that work with underprivileged youth like her, who maybe maybe are poor, maybe come from bad households, maybe have a very hard time growing up. She has created charities and she has worked with charities to help give kids that live like that more chances to play sports and to get involved in sports, because to kind of honor how she grew up. As I mentioned, she grew up in a very poor household. So she went on to create these charities and work with them to, of course, help kids who are like her. So I want you to think about what are some of the things that these ladies have in common? What are some things that are different? Well, so an easy one is that they both play sports, or they're both athletes. That's an easy one about what's common. What is different? An easy way to answer that is what do they do? What's different in what they do? Well, one is a tennis player, one does track and field. There are lots of differences between them, but there are a lot of things that are the same. Now, when you get done here, you have a short learning check, and that will be it for your comparing and contrasting for the day. So that is all for social studies. Have a great rest of your day.